Of all the bass species, my favorite one to catch is a smallmouth bass. He's a hard fighting fish and can really be a challenge. There are some great smallmouth fisheries in the Southwest in Tennessee and Kentucky and Georgia and North Carolina. The state of Oklahoma has produced some of the best smallmouth bass fishing anywhere across the region. And on today's show, we're going to visit one of those best fisheries at Lake Tenkiller, the eastern part of the state. It's a gorgeous place. Come along with us. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors Sports South.
It is a dreary, foggy, misty, cold, nasty kind of a springtime day in eastern Oklahoma. But that can be just the kind of a day where you can catch some bass. Hi everybody, and welcome to beautiful Tenkiller Lake, located just a little bit east of Gore, Oklahoma. What a wonderful place this is. It's got everything I like. Deep, gin clear water, beautiful rocky cliffs everywhere, and it's loaded with crappie and catfish and largemouth bass. And Tenkiller may just be one of the best smallmouth bass fisheries in the entire state of Oklahoma. On today's show, not only are we going to go out and try to catch a few of those fish, but we'll try to give you some information on what the bass are doing right now across our region. You know, we finally have some spawning activity going on, some fish up in shallow water. I'll tell you how you can find and target those fish in your favorite lake, just like you can right here on beautiful Lake Tenkiller. And we're taking you around the region for all of your latest fishing reports from our team of insider reporters. Gonna have a lot of fun right now. Let's get the Nitro Z8 launched into Tenkiller Lake. We take you to the FSN studios. Here's your weekend plan.
The Salooner tables are forecasting Sunday as the best fishing day of the weekend, with peak activity beginning at 5:59 a.m. and 6:22 p.m. Expect sunrise to take place at 6:46 in the morning, with sunset happening at 8:04 p.m. And evenings will feature a moon that is 57% visible. We'll be right back with all of the current fishing reports from around the area. And I'll return with professional angler Edwin Evers to answer your Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
There he is, he's got it. Got him. Coming up, smallie. Nice smallmouth. All right, I'm up here where I can get it. Got him. All right. Hey, there's a way to get it going right there. Welcome back, everybody. Caught him on a little grub right there. Little rally grub. There's a nice smallmouth bass for you to get things started. Little, about a 3-pound chunk, something like that. Cloudy, overcast day. It's trying to lighten up just a little bit here, but we're gonna gently ease that fish back in here. There's the key, right there in front of us. That is a major creek. It goes right around that corner and back in the back. We've had a really late winter this year. The water temperature has been slow to warm up this year. All the fish are behind schedule, especially with their spawns. So these bass should basically, most of them should have spawned by now, and they haven't. We've got pre-spawn fish that have not spawned yet. We've got some that are up spawning now, some that have already spawned and are moving back out. So instead of going up and trying to fish for the spawning fish, I've stayed outside here. Fish seem to be really finicky. They're not really wanting to bite. I don't know why. So what I'm having to do is take this rally grub, show that to you at the end on a spinning rod. By the way, I got to show you the spinning rod later. This is unbelievable. Best spinning rods that I've ever fished. Lewis has come out with a brand new custom series. I'm letting this thing go all the way to the bottom on a pretty heavy head. These outside banks outside the creek are where the fish are either going to stay before they spawn, or after they spawn, they're going to come back out here. So what I'm doing is watching my graph, and I'm staying out here in about 20 feet of water or so, and I'm just easing this thing along. I'm almost like dead sticking it, just letting that little tail swim along. That's how that one bit it. I'm actually seeing a few fish on my fish finder here on my Lowrance HDS9 up front. I'm watching it closely, and I'll actually see some bait fish and a few fish scattered along. I told you we'd catch smallmouth today. We'll see what else happens, but hopefully the sun breaks out here and we get a little nicer day going. Let's get you started with some fishing and lake reports. Here's Bob McNally covering the states of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia.
This part of the program is brought to you by Georgia Charter Fishing on St. Simon's Island. If you're looking for a family fishing trip, or you're after a world record redfish, giant tarpon, or big sheepshead, Captain Greg Hildreth will make your fishing trip one to remember. Well, pretty spring weather is here, but we've also got plenty of rain, and that's been impacting some of the inshore fishing along the coast of Alabama. Captain Patrick Garmerson is telling me he's catching plenty of trout, but the fish tend to be in the lower reaches of the bays and rivers because all that fresh water coming down from the heavy rain we've been having has pushed those fish down into that more toward the Gulf where the water is much saltier. I've been talking to my friend Captain Kevin Olmsted, who's been fishing lower Mobile Bay, primarily on the east side. He's looking for clear, salty water. He's using live shrimp and quirks. He's catching good numbers of school trout, but he says it's a morning bite. You got to get out there early, and the fishing's pretty much over by about mid-morning, but you should have a good catch by that time. In Georgia, the sheepshead and red fishing has been great near the inshore reefs. Whiting fishing continues to be very, very good in the surf, particularly in the southern part of the state of St. Simon's Island. Captain Tim Cutting there says the bluefish are everywhere, and these are pretty nice sized blues, some of them up to about 5 pounds. Those are good light tackle fish, and they're great on the smoker to eat. Tim says that the trout and red fishing inshore has really been in deep holes. The trout and reds are kind of concentrated where there's deep outside bends, and there's some sort of cover, rock rubble, docks, brush, some sort of structure there is holding those fish. Inshore in Mississippi, sheepshead fishing continues great. These are some nice sized sheepshead. They're going 3 to about 5 or 6 pounds. You can find them around some of the shell bars and the cover areas around the islands along the coast, also around docks and bridges, any place there's sort of a structure area where there's decent current. Flounder fishing also has been good in coastal Mississippi and will continue to get better through this month. Successful anglers are using strip baits. A little piece of croaker strip is very good with a sliding sinker rig. Well, that's it for the coastal South. Get out on the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
Welcome to the Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Update. This week's action is brought to you by Hiking Georgia, a guide to the state's greatest hiking adventures. The new 4th edition of the book is loaded with color maps and photographs that bring the 79 featured trails in the Peach State alive. The book is available online at www.jimmyjacobsoutdoors.com. Now, the southern states are blessed with plenty of bass fishing. In fact, all 9 species of black bass are found in this region. Today we're going to be fishing for one of the lesser known species, the Cusa redeye bass. As implied, these fish are only found in the Cusa River system of Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. We're going to be targeting them in Alabama's Little River Canyon National Preserve. Now, this preserve is located in northeast Alabama, and most of the river course is on the backside of Lookout Mountain until it drops through Little River Falls into the canyon. Now, redeye bass are stream fish. They don't do well in impoundments, and they're also one of the smallest of the bass. The largest verified one has been 2 pounds 12 ounces. But they're great fighters on ultralight or fly fishing equipment, and they're very prone to hit artificial lures. Now, these redeyes are the dominant bass of the creeks and rivers just downstream of trout water in the foothills of the southern Appalachian Mountains. Expect to find these fish in the eddies along the current breaks in the river. Another good place for targeting Cusa bass is the lower Jacks River in northwest Georgia's Cohutta Wilderness. There's 8 miles of this stream on public water downstream of the Jacks River Falls to the mouth of the river on the Conasauga, and this area is loaded with redeyes. If you're over in northeast Mississippi this week, Lake Lamar Bruce is a good place to be targeting red ear sunfish. You want to find those renovated gravel beds they're using to spawn on. This 300-acre state fishing lake is noted for shellcracker action, and the lake record fish was 2 pounds 12 ounces.
Got him. All right, hey, welcome back everybody. We're still on Tenkiller Lake, but something dramatic has changed. That's that Oh, that's good smallie right there. Cameraman has left the boat. He got a phone call and had to leave. And so it's left you and me and a camera and a tripod. So I've got this tripod set up right now. Don't jump. Yeah, got him. And so we're gonna do the rest of this solo. We got another nice smallmouth right there. Caught that one on a drop shot rig. That's a little Gene LaRue tattletale worm. I'll show that to you as well at the end. There's my little drop shot hook on the bottom. There's my little worm. Again, fishing out here fairly deep, almost a vertical presentation. And boy, what a beautiful smallmouth bass that is. Look at the mottled color on his sides, the dark bars there. Again, a good solid fish, about 3.5 pounds. We're gonna let this fish go back. See you there, buddy. You can be fishing the right bait, you can be doing the right presentation, but if you don't get in the right location, you're not gonna catch any fish. So here's the deal. This time of the year, in the springtime, when you've got pre-spawn, spawning, and post-spawn bass, you need to be in the kind of a spot that will hold all three kinds of fish. You can see this is a big bay. Coming into this bay, there are 3 or 4 major ditches, and these are all spawning ditches, migration routes. The bass will come out of deep water where they've been all winter, migrate up on these points in between the ditches, follow those ditches to the back. They'll spawn up in about 3 to 6 feet of water, something like that. When they're done, they will migrate back out those ditches, back to the ends of those points. So if you're fishing this kind of an area, you're eligible to catch a pre-spawn bass, you can catch a spawner in the backs of those ditches, and you can catch a bass that's already spawned. And you can see behind me here, in fact, I'll try to get out of the way. We are out, I'm gonna say probably 300 yards from the nearest shore. Fishing these ditches, they're about 10, 12 feet on top, and they fall off real deep, 30, 40 feet on the sides in the middle of these little channels. Perfect spawning locations for bass to migrate up there and spawn. Find a spot like this in your local lake, you're eligible to get bit. Hey, let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from your neck of the woods.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report this week, brought to you by Marshall's Marine, located in Lake City and Georgetown, South Carolina. We're your bass boat leader since 1969. For all your nitro and bass tracker needs and for family-friendly fun, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. I'm going to talk a lot about saltwater this week. We got a lot of things going on. From the Gulf Stream, where the warm water in the 70 to 75 degrees are starting to roll in, we're getting eddies that are coming in 50 to 60 miles offshore. The Georgetown Hole, the Winyaw Scarp, the Blackjack, the Steeples, great places to go. Get out and find blackfin early in the morning and a great wahoo bite. Then you're gonna have those dolphins that are gonna be in there on any weed line, on any bait you can find. Make sure you've got blue and white in that spread somewhere. I say it every year, blue and white is my go-to color no matter what it is. Also, having a cedar plug or a couple on the boat is great for getting those tuna early in the morning. They may not be the biggest of tuna, but we all know some blackfin tuna coming back to the dock are great, great food. Also in the near shore and the closer to shore things, we've got Spanish mackerel bites going on all the beaches, on the piers, on the near shore reefs, around the jetties. Where there's bait, those Spanish mackerel are going to be. Again, get out with a Christmas tree, like a multi-hook rig with a Clark spoon on the rear end of it, and a single #1 planer. Pull it behind something that's a little bit heavier, because that does put a lot of stress on the rod. Get ready to catch multiple fish. These fish are normally going to be in 13 to 17, 18-inch range, but they are great eats for this time of the year. And in the backwaters, the redfish are still coming out of that winter pattern. You can get out there and target them on gulp, target them on cut bait, and target them on live bait. You're going to have a great trip if you get back in the backwaters, and the flounder are biting. We're starting to hear of 3, 4, and 5 pound fish coming from North Carolina to South Carolina. It's going on right now. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy, lose, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Welcome back, everybody, to beautiful Lake Tenkiller in eastern Oklahoma. I want to talk to you just a couple of minutes about smallmouth bass. Now, let me start off by showing you a little bit of bad footage from yesterday. I was here by myself, and put my little GoPro camera suction cupped onto my windshield. It was pouring rain all day yesterday, and I just put my rain suit on and fished through it anyway. Caught several fish doing the exact same thing I'm doing now, and that's just dead sticking this little soft plastic rally grub out here in a little bit deeper water, 20 to 25 feet deep. As you're watching this video, let me tell you about smallmouth bass. First of all, they love deeper water. You'll typically catch a smallmouth deeper than you will a largemouth, so you want to fish deeper. Secondly, you got to be fishing in fairly clear water. They don't like mud. Thirdly, they like cooler water than a largemouth does. They'll typically be found in lakes that have deep water because they can run to that cool water when it really gets hot in the summertime, as it can here in the south and the southwest. And then also, they're very light sensitive, which also drives them a little deeper. If you get a bright sunny day, you're typically going to catch them in fairly deep water. You want to use light fluorocast line, strand line. I'll show you the package so you can look for it in your store a little bit later. Thin, small diameter line and small plastic baits to catch them, especially when the sun is out. Right now, let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from your neck of the woods. Here's Crispin Powley in Tennessee and Kentucky.
Being an avid outdoorsman and living in the South means a couple things. I need foul weather gear, but I don't need cold weather gear. The Fusion series by Stormer is the most incredibly advanced functional performance outerwear on the market. Check out Stormer USA and check out the Fusion gear for the most southern friendly rain gear on the market. Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. We are in full-blown spring in this region of the country right now. The fish are shallow, they're biting, they're all right around pre-spawn to spawn, even a few post-spawn right now. The bass predominantly are all in all three phases. The crappie are spawning wide open and the catfish are moving up to spawn right now. Number one on the list this week is Center Hill. A really good friend of mine went and spent the week there last week and caught a bunch of big largemouth and big smallmouth in the creeks and caught a bunch of big spotted bass on the bluff ends and secondary points and stuff out from spawning areas. So Center Hill is a beautiful place to go this time of year, and it's full of good fish. Chickamauga, as always, incredible fishery, and right now is no exception. They're catching some giant fish around spawning areas, primarily on a hollow body swim bait. Kentucky Lake, the crappie fishing is as good as it's been. The bass fishing's getting better by the day. They're raising the lake level up, and the flipping bite's gonna turn on any day now. The catfish are at the edge of where they're gonna spawn, so in the next week or two, the catfish bite will be full blown. And one more I wanna sneak in there is Reelfoot Lake. Reelfoot's really good right now. The crappie bite and the bass bite, the bluegill bite's right around the corner. So guys, if you get a chance to come out here, Tennessee and Kentucky's a really good place to be right now. We'd love to see you on the water. God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors, introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for your Ask the Pro question. This week, Chad wants to know, how long should you fish an area that looks good but isn't producing? We asked Bassmaster angler Edwin Evers for the answer.
In my opinion, I think, if you're not getting bit, the area may look great, it may have all the characteristics, you've tried shallow, you've tried deep, you've tried in between, you've tried, changing your retrieves, maybe speeding it up or really slowing it down. If you're not getting bit, you need to move on. 90% of the bass live in 10% of the lake, so just because it looks good doesn't mean there's bass there.
Thanks, Edwin. If you have a question for one of the anglers, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link on the side of the page, and let us know. Now, one of our viewers is about to win a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week, our big winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Danny Rodriguez of Alexandria, Alabama, showing off a giant 36-pound redfish he caught off Venice, Louisiana. Get this, he caught that big dude on 12-pound test line. If you would like to enter our contest, have a chance to be our next winner, all you have to do is go to our website, foxsportsoutdoors.com, and on the right side of the front page, click in the Costa Catch of the Week area, send us your big fish photo, and you could be our next grand prize winner of a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses each week. If you'd like to see all of the Cusa frame and lens styles, just go to the Cusa website, you go back to the front page of our website and click on the Cusa logo. There you'll see all of the Cusa frame and lens styles, including the frame style I was wearing on this week's episode called Brine. On the Academy Right Stuff, I want to show you some great gear to catch smallmouth bass and largemouth bass, for that matter, beginning with my brand new all-time favorite spinning rod. This is the new Lew's Custom Speed Stick Series, and you can tell it by the white handle just up here in front of the handle and down on the butt. It's a fantastic feeling rod, and they've got one for every technique imaginable, including the one I was using today, the shaky head rod. And you can see it's got the perfect tip right there. See all that flex and that give and that sensitivity in the tip, but it's got lots of backbone down here in the business end of the rod. Had it spooled up today with 10-pound test Stren fluorocast line. Very important to use fluorocast. This water on Tenkiller, as in many smallmouth lakes, is absolutely gin clear. And I caught most of the fish I caught today on a 1/4 ounce lead jig head, and I had it tipped with the Jean LaRue Rowley grub, and that's kind of a smoke color, has a great swimming tail action. We Americans live in a right now society. We're a very impatient people. We want what we want when we want it. We swipe credit cards and make fast purchases and run up a lot of debt. We take out loans that we really can't afford. We eat what we want to eat when we want to eat it, and we try to be first in line. I've learned in my lifetime through lots of mistakes that many times good things come to those who wait. Most things that are worthwhile are worth being patient and waiting a little bit for. In fact, there's an old pastor and evangelist named Bob Jones. Back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, he started Bob Jones University in Greenville, South Carolina. He said this: "Never sacrifice the permanent on the altar of the immediate." Words for the wise from our old pastor. Hey, I'm so glad you joined us today on Lake Tenkiller, just east of Gore, Oklahoma. Great smallmouth bass fishery if you'd like to come here and catch some of these fish. Don't forget to join us for next week's show. We'll be on Thursday at 6 p.m. with the repeat airing Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Also, don't forget you can catch the latest episode of our show all the time on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. And very important, you can catch up on any shows you missed and get lots of how-to videos by clicking on the past episodes and more video here link right below the big video window. Be sure to follow us on the Twitter feed to get lots of video and photos and the very latest fishing news that you'll never see here on the television show, plus lots of great gear we're giving away on the Twitter feed as well. In fact, right now, we're giving away a brand new Fox Sports Outdoors jersey like the ones that I wear here on the show, and I'll autograph that for you as well. Get the details on the Twitter feed, the Twitter address you see there. From scenic Tenkiller Lake in eastern Oklahoma, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe. Have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.